Probably the question I get asked the most at this time of year is actually, what books am I reading? And I've set my goal this year to try and read a book a month. So, to hold me accountable and also to share a little bit about the things that are top of mind for me, I thought I'd take you through the 6 books that I'm reading for the next 6 months. So, number one is Build by Tony Fadell. Now, many people might be familiar or not with Tony. He's famous for actually being one of the creators of the iPhone within Apple. This book is a fantastic book about mentorship, but also building things that are highly complicated, uncertain, and working in difficult environments to do it. Tony noticed that a lot of his mentors were sort of disappearing, and he felt like he needed to write down and share his lessons with the world. So this is a great book. I'm a big believer in mentorship and having great peers around you. So that's why I picked that book. The next book is a fantastic book, Negotiation Made Simple by John Lowry. Now, I had the pleasure to do an event with John last year. He's a master in expert negotiations. He works in the healthcare space primarily, where he's trying to broker deals between hospitals and surgeons and families when there's very difficult circumstances and outcomes are not what people desire. But how do they negotiate solutions so they can move forward when there's been negative situations? Even just spending a couple of days with him at the conference in Charlotte together really opened my eyes to the power of negotiation and litigation. And this book has just packed with so many lessons about how to do that well. Another fantastic book I wanted to read for a long time, The Myth of Normal by Gabor Maté. I think anybody who's ever heard Gabor speak, certainly if you find him on social media, you'll see he's a very articulate and interesting character. A lot of his work has been helping people at end of life or also child medicine, but for me, I was really inspired by the mindset that he advocates for, and something that you can deal with hard situations, respond to difficult situations or traumas, and that was a really fascinating thing for me. This is another fun book. I think many people who like to watch the television show The Bear will know it straight away. Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. This book is sort of really the cornerstone of the movie The Bear. So anyone who could survive the first series where they just shouted at each other probably is enjoying that show. But this book is all about dealing with customers, managing complex situations, and it's something I'm excited to read. And then maybe sticking on the food theme, Food for Life by Tim Spector. This is another book that many people have recommended to me. I'm fascinated by health and wellness and longevity or quality of life that goes with it. And this book, everyone keeps telling me, is sort of the ultimate for gut health. I actually have Crohn's disease, so it's something I'm hopefully thinking will have a good impact on me. And then the last of the 6 is really something I wanted to focus on about my background and heritage. I'm Irish, and this book, The Translations of Seamus Heaney, really sort of spoke to me as something kind of interesting to read about one of Ireland's famous and most famous poets. And growing up, I always enjoyed listening and studying his poems, would you believe, in English literature. So a chance to go back and revisit that is always fun. And then finally, a little bit of a bonus book. I always like to sort of call out or read some of colleagues or people I've worked with in the past as they launch books. And Dan McClure and Jenny Wild wrote this great book, Do Bigger Things. So I'm always trying to do bigger things, whether it's in my work or life, or this is a great chance to sort of reflect on some of the work that they've done in this space. And I'd highly recommend you check all these books out. I'm really interested to know what you're reading, so maybe stick in the comments a couple of the books that you're reading, and maybe if we seem to be reading one the same, let me know and we can share some notes. All right, have a good 25.